Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hinterland's One-Shot, episode 33. I did not verify that. I'm pretty sure it's 33.
Yeah.
Today we're just doing the news. That's kind of our thing now. Now we just do the news, unless something else comes up. But right now, the news is what we've been thinking about. So here we go. Number 1, police using drones for social distancing.
That is not what I thought you were going to start with, because you have the wrong link up.
I have the wrong link up. That's okay. I can change to the right link, which is... Oh, my screen got all squishy. Yes, I just said that. Here we go. Police are using drones to enforce social distancing in America's backyards.
Ugh.
Because your backyard needs you to be social distancing with whom? Your family? That's stupid. I mean, the title's stupid, but you get the idea. This came about because there was this particular video on Twitter that we found, which is MSNBC. So
Careful not to click on that.
Well, yeah, the mic would pick that up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't click on it. In fact, I'm going to mute the computer. That's the wrong thing to click on. I'm going to mute the computer real quick. So.
Oh, yeah, we had an ad play last time.
Yeah, let's just mute that real quick. So, yeah, this is kind of spooky. They've been creating these drones that apparently can monitor your body temperature from a distance and all kinds of spooky things. And they have loudspeakers on them so they can yell at you and tell you to go home or whatever.
Well, I didn't read this article. I think I skimmed through another one that was similar, but aren't these made in China?
Yeah, the one that you saw, which I couldn't find just now, but the one that you saw definitely talked... Oh, there it is.
Chinese made.
Here we go. I'll read it. It says a Chinese company known as Dajiang Innovations, DJI. If you're a drone guy, DJI is a name you read all the time because they're very, very popular and they make some incredibly advanced, really nice consumer quality drones. They have some professional ones too, but these are the ones everybody wants and has. This is one our friend... Remember when our friend got one? It was like $1,000 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
This was the brand.
Okay.
They sold them at Costco last Christmas. Donated these types of drones to 43 law enforcement agencies in 23 states. Last May, the Department of Homeland Security issued a memo warning that Chinese drones are possible security risks, ripe for the potential risk use for terrorism, mass casualty incidences, interference with air traffic, as well as corporate espionage and invasions of privacy.
And yet, here we are using them.
Yeah, and your local PD was all super happy to accept these drones.
But not ours.
Apparently not ours. We're not on the list, which is nice. It'd be a waste of resources to try and use drones to track everyone in our town anyway.
I'm sure that our local government would love to do that, though.
They sure seem pretty dead set on making sure nobody makes any money around here.
Yeah, our governor is getting ready to reopen businesses tomorrow, actually. Kind of slow reopen. But our local city said, oh, no, not so fast.
Well, yeah, we just read it, the regulations that people are still going to have to follow after opening, though. Like, a restaurant can open, but all the employees are probably going to have to wear personal protective equipment, i.e. face masks and gloves.
Yeah, well, we didn't actually read the stipulations. It was a long thing, but I'm assuming they're going to take out a bunch of tables.
Yeah, so your restaurant gets to open, but people still have to social distance. Does that include the staff? It's weird.
I heard some people saying that they were going to do reservation only to make sure they weren't, didn't have too many people in there.
So they're still cutting their own throats.
Yeah.
Because where you used to work on 4th of July, you literally couldn't sit. There were so many people in there. Yeah. I'm surprised the fire marshal didn't come down on them on 4th of July. They're so full. It's wild down there.
Yeah, I had to kick drunk people out of tables that weren't theirs on 4th of July.
It's crazy town around that place on 4th of July. And they're going to do reservations and only have like eight families at a time because of social distancing.
I wasn't talking specifically about that restaurant.
No, I'm aware of that, but still, like a place like that, they pack it out and they make a ton of money doing it.
Yep.
Now they're making none. If they did reservations and only brought in 8 people, because that's all the more they can do with 6 feet on either side of every table, they're not going to make that much money.
A lot of our local restaurants are doing curb pickup.
Yeah.
And one restaurant in particular, I think, is actually having servers deliver meals. I'm not positive it's a servers, but I suspect it is.
Well, we've seen... You're talking about the car that goes up the street? Yeah, we've seen the car on the street a couple of times, so...
Yeah.
I would assume it's some sort of server.
But if they cut the hours and they cut the staff and they cut how many people they can have in the restaurant at one time, there's still going to be a lot of servers without work.
Yeah, and well, a lot of restaurants might go under too because they're not pushing the volume. You know, that's how they pay the rent is by volume.
And rent here is expensive.
Sometimes it's extraordinary. It's crazy.
Anyway, we got off topic.
Yes, we got off topic. Moving on. That's a horrible Orwellian situation that is going on right now, and a lot of people are pushing back on it.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if anybody's going to shoot one of these things down.
I'll shoot one down.
When I heard Rush talking about this a couple days ago or last week or whatever, he mentioned the fact that they're claiming that these drones aren't taking videos and recording things.
Oh, yeah, right. Every single one of them has a high-definition camera.
Well, and you gotta bet that probably China's reaping all the data, too.
Oh, yeah. Sure, there's probably all kinds of hidden software in there that throws numbers out onto the internet. Because they're all connected to the internet, too. Guess what? 5G. You know, a lot of these drones have little cellular devices in them. So they can connect up to cloud services and all kinds of technology. All right, moving on. Next one. Oh, right. Yes, the Swedish model. So I found this article. The title is The Grim Truth of the Swedish Model. The lack of a lockdown has led to one of the world's highest COVID-19 death rates.
Yeah, right.
So it's this whole article detailing how evil the Swedish model is and how people are just dying in large amounts of people are just dying in the gutters because they were allowed to walk around. They weren't social distancing and they didn't close their restaurants and oh my word. The only thing they did, as far as I know, of any note was they wouldn't let anybody gather in groups larger than like 50. That was Sweden's thing. They're like, well, people are going to get it. They can all have it, and we will care for them as we can with our medical system, and then everybody will get over it, and they'll all be fine. That was their idea. This article claims, and I wish I did not read it in detail at all. Somewhere in here it claims that that Sweden has like twice the death rate of the neighboring countries, like Denmark, twice the death rate of Denmark, and 3 times the death rate of Finland, and all these like orders of magnitude worse death rates than. Oh, here we go. It is too soon for a full reckoning of the effects of the Swedish model. So they're
already giving it a name,
right? Everything before the word "but" is a lie. Is that how that goes? Or the COVID-19 death rate is 9 times higher than in Finland, nearly 5 times higher than in Norway, and more than twice as high as in Denmark. To some degree, the numbers might reflect Sweden's much larger immigration population, but the stark disparities with its Nordic neighbors are nonetheless striking. Denmark, Norway, and Finland all imposed rigid lockdown policies early on with strong, active political leadership. So, Sweden's evil, they're killing all their people with this thing. So,
to me, this read like we're getting ready to push out a narrative.
Right.
Because I've seen nothing else that suggests that Sweden is just dropping dead. In fact, I've seen quite a number of things that said, yeah, I mean, they've got people dying, but people die every day, so you always have to look into what additionally is happening.
There doesn't seem to be conclusive evidence that it's COVID-19 that's killing all these people in Sweden.
You also have to look at the overall age and health of the population. Right. A lot of these European countries have aging populations.
Yeah.
Because they're not replacing themselves.
Yeah, it's weird. So, odd thing, this comes from the Japan Times. Mm-hmm. It's a Japanese news outlet. So, immediately after finding this, I found another article, which I didn't open, but it said, let's see, what's the newest one here? It said 8 more experts questioning the coronavirus panic. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I clicked on it, and I was like, 8 more. That's interesting wording. That means they have others. So I did a little digging. This particular website had 10 more experts criticizing coronavirus panic, and the first article was 12 experts questioning coronavirus panic. Mm-hmm. And I will not click on them and go through it, although I think that would make for an interesting little supplementary podcast just detailing who these people are, because they are highly credentialed. And that's, we did the math, right? That was 30. That's 30 experts. These people are high-end PhD scientist type people, and they all are like...
And it's not just them.
It's not just them. It's much bigger than just them, but these articles had little bios for every single person, and like little write-ups of what they are saying about coronavirus and why they don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. It's pretty nuts.
Well, you just reminded me that I was going to look up an article the other day, and I didn't remember that there was a doctor who I believe was in Germany. Mm-hmm. And I might be thinking of a different person, but he got arrested a while ago, and he was questioning it.
Oh, that was one of like the primary guys too. Didn't he write a letter, like an official letter to the prime minister? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that guy. Which is really lame. If they arrest him, that's just messed up. How dare he question what we're trying to do to the world? Here's a clue. They're trying to ruin the economy of the world so they can institute something else. Am I moving on, or are you going to look something up and say something?
No, moving on, because I looked it up and all I could find was the doctor who was apparently the whistleblower early on who died.
Oh, yeah.
I probably have to go through like 10 pages of Google to find it.
Or 2 pages of DuckDuckGo. Moving on. Police bust horrific child sex abuse ring spread across 5 states in Australia. When I first read that, I was like, what states? But it's Australia. 5 states of Australia. This is interesting and of note because the QAnon crowd is constantly talking about saving the children and how the deep state is being taken down and all the child pedophiles are going to prison and on and on and on, you know.
At the beginning of this article says it was a sting triggered by U.S. Department of Homeland Security investigation.
Right, so it is of note. Like, it's interesting that the U.S. has got their military fingers in these sting operations that are taking down predators of children. That's great. I mean, it's a good article. It's good that these people are... I think they should all be executed, personally. Like, I think anybody who messes with a child like that should be given a book detailing the world religions, and they can choose one and get a priest of their choosing to come in, and then just done. You know what I mean? Sorry. Hope you find your way on the other side. But we don't want you with us anymore. That's my opinion. Anyway, I won't read through this. I just think it was interesting that in light of the QAnon fervor over protecting children, you know, they say those big hospital ships in New York and LA or San Fran are just there to take people who have been kept in children from cages in the underground for years. That's what they keep saying. So this sort of article kind of piques my interest. I guess we can move on from that pretty quick. Don't have a whole lot more to say except that it's interesting. Okay, here we go. I don't have a direct source except for just a tweet, but I believe it because it's a CNN video posted. It says YouTube CEO Susan, I'm not going to pronounce her last name.
Yep.
Wojcicki? Wiki? There's a guy who says wiki.
Yeah, I've heard him multiple ways.
He's making fun of her a bunch of times when he says that. Says anything that goes against the WHO is a violation of YouTube policies. All content that isn't medically substantiated, such as advising people to take vitamin C, will be removed by the platform.
Yeah, in fact, I told you, I never got a chance to look at it. My sister sent a video the other day from some doctor who I believe is one that people keep touting as making allegations against Fauci, or like Fauci tried to ruin her career or something. I didn't actually get a chance to look at it because my mom went to find it and the video was already taken down.
Oh yeah,
it had been like an hour.
Yep, they're on it. They got their little spiders crawling through the web, the World Wide Web.
Well, I gotta wonder, though, there are plenty of videos that say the words vitamin C.
Yeah.
And other things like that, and they're not all getting taken down.
No, but they're looking for videos from particular people.
Yeah, which makes you wonder, I mean, Del Bigtree's still at.
Yeah. Isn't that surprising?
Well, I suspect...
He's got a bunch of lawyers, though, so
yeah, that's
they're
kind of
probably
what I think.
scared of tangling with him because he has a bunch of lawyers on his side it commands quite a legal presence, that guy, which is good. Like, he's the only one who can stand up to it seems like. It's sad that there's only one, but at least there's one.
Well, he's got a lot of people behind him.
It's true. I mean, it's sad that these other people, these little holistic doctors, they get turned off. You know, they lose all their accounts,
assassinated.
or they get disappeared, or they die under mysterious circumstances, hanging from their own ties or the doorknobs
How
of their.
many years ago was it that Health Ranger got taken down?
It's been some time now. He still has his websites, but he's not allowed on social medias, which is kind of how you reach people nowadays. Mm-hmm. It's been quite a while. I haven't heard anything about him in a long time. I think he still shows up on Hagman and Hagman once in a while, doesn't he?
I never saw him on Hagman and Hagman.
Didn't you? Maybe I'm thinking of a different show.
Probably.
Anyway, yeah, this is just an outright travesty that YouTube is they're so in the pocket, you know? Mm-hmm. Here's this platform where anybody can do anything except not those people and not those people because we have deemed them unsuitable for your precious little eyes. We're protecting you from them.
Well, and isn't Facebook also going after advice like that? And Twitter is going after any posts that suggest that 5G is harmful?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody's exercising forms of censorship that really, it just shouldn't exist. If the information is easily disprovable, then they shouldn't be worried. Mm-hmm. But they're censoring it instead, which kind of smacks of being worried, you know?
Well, I told you the admin of that Facebook group we just joined, she got put in Facebook jail for a while.
Oh, yeah. Do you know why?
I can
it's just
guess.
By the nature of the thing.
She posted a lot of stuff, any number of things.
Yeah.
So one of the other admins has been posting things for her.
Oh, sure. So. It's funny, whenever somebody prominent in the Q community, which, let me reiterate, I'm not in. I just follow a few of these people on Twitter, and I read a lot of it. But whenever one of them gets disappeared by the authorities, taken out of social media, there's always someone else who is like, yeah, I talked to him, and they said they're doing fine. They have to speak up for him because they have them on email or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird, this world we live in. That's why everyone should join Scuttlebutt. I wonder if that's becoming a thing amongst the conspiracy folk. I should take a look. So this one is spooky as well. Let me just read this. Harvard Law School is officially hosting an anti-homeschooling conference in June. Professor James Dwyer organized the conference. He claims, quote, "The reason parent-child relationships exist is because the state confers legal parenthood."
What the heck is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. It sounds like legal gobbledygook to me, especially since, we've been having children since... Ever? Where the human race has children, somebody has to take responsibility for those children, and it hasn't been the state since the dawn of mankind. Mm-hmm. That's absurd. It's an extra stupid thing to say. Who else is going to take care of the children? You know?
The village, of course.
Yes, it takes a village, even though, what if you live out in the woods by yourselves? Outside of the stupid village.
Oh, that's totally unsafe.
Then the wolves take care of them because they know better than the parents, apparently. Yeah, this is extra dumb and a distinct attack on the family unit, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, they've convinced parents that they're too stupid to teach their kids anything.
Yeah.
And my sister was reminding me, it really wasn't that long ago. People are becoming a little more accepting of homeschooling, but it really wasn't that long ago that we'd be out of school and somebody would come by and go, "Shouldn't you be in school right now?" It's like, no, we're homeschooled. And we get just like you have the plague or something.
Yeah, and Harvard Law School is one to talk with their diversity quotients and making sure the equal opportunity student body, have to make they probably purposefully decline a whole bunch of white kids because then they'd have too many white kids and they can't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I mentioned before that issue came up when my sister was applying to colleges because she's a white female, not a black female.
That actually came up?
I don't think it came up because she went to Hillsdale College.
Right.
But she applied elsewhere, I believe. And of course, that was the big thing at the time, is that we've got to get our diversity in.
Mm-hmm.
So if she'd gone to a different school, she might have had a little bit more of a difficult time because she had good grades and she's white.
That's messed up. It should just be merit-based. Like, if white people end up having more capabilities than the black people of the neighborhood or whatever, the local people, the surrounding people, then so be it. If they got better grades, they should get in.
But that's racist.
It's not. They got better grades.
You know what I mean.
Okay, moving on from that one.
We are moving on really fast.
Yeah, we've still got 5 more to go. And we're at 25 minutes. That's not bad.
No, 10 of that is us just...
It is not
around.
10. It's not 10. How dare you accuse me of just screwing around before the podcast starts. I don't make funny noises in the mic.
Before we move on from the homeschooling thing, it really is dumb nowadays that homeschooling is just the big target right next to people who don't vaccinate.
Well, they're the same people, though.
Yeah.
Those granola munching, bushy people out in the woods who grow up in their hippie communes and wear homespun clothes, and how dare they? They're such ignorant fools. We must educate them and bring them into modern society.
Well, so when I was young, the issue was socialization. Do you think that's still it? Or do you think they really, really believe that you could only get a good education if you go to a government school and get paid by somebody who hates kids?
I think they're stupid enough to believe it's that second one. I don't think it's a socialization thing. I think they literally believe that people who are homeschooled are more dumb because they're indoctrinated to think that. Which is extra stupid because over and over, overwhelmingly, the statistics show that homeschooled people are much higher intellect, much more well adapted to academia than the people who come out of public high school. Public high school makes a bunch of dumb kids who think they have to go to college, and then they do, and they go into debt, and then they come back with useless degrees.
AOC.
Yes, they become AOC.
AOCs.
The problem with her is that she did succeed, and now she's making a ton of money for sitting in a chair in D.C.
Because she was handpicked.
Yes, that's true. She's got a fake position that's been given to her. This is one you looked up. You can take this one.
I didn't read anything on it.
Didn't you?
No, I found
said,
the
hey,
link.
here's the thing.
I wanted to read through these before we got started, but it got late.
No, my word.
Apparently there are riots and looting happening in Cape Town, which, gee, that's surprising.
Yeah.
I really hate to say that it seems like it's always certain demographics that are doing these things, but it seems like it's always certain demographics that are doing these things.
Cape Town's got a ton of white people in it, though, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Because of the Dutch, South Africa,
well,
Dutch settlement, right? So.
Well, I know, but look at these photos, and
that's true. Every single photo is like.
We really should start posting links below our podcast. But the fact
I did on the last one.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going to on this one. I have them all.
Well, the fact is that South Africa is just going down the tubes anyway.
Yeah.
From the last few years.
Oh yeah, anybody who knows anything knows about the farm raids. The outright racism that the prime minister. What do they have there?
The president?
Is it a president?
I don't know.
I know I've seen speeches of his where he's like talking about white people and how they're just gonna kill them and it's fine.
No, we just gotta take their land away.
Yeah, we're just gonna take their land. They don't need it.
It's
even though they've been there for generations.
Well, it's this ridiculous idea that you can just take something away from the family that's been farming something for generations and give it to this other family who might not necessarily want to farm or have the capability to farm, but they're going to make something of it. And I forget what country was it that said that they didn't want to take any white South African refugees. It was a few years ago.
Gotcha.
I can't remember what country it was that said that. Was it the UK? They didn't want any white refugees?
From South Africa?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, anyway, we should have looked at this one before, but I made a list of links that I wanted to read before we got started, and then I didn't.
Well,
but it makes you wonder if that whole country is just going to implode.
Yeah. This says the plea came after President Cyril Ramaphosa imposed a 5-week lockdown to try, there's a typo, should be a 2 there, try to curb the spread of the virus. However, 4 weeks into a 35-day shutdown, food supplies have virtually run out. So people are hungry. Mm-hmm. So you have to all stay in your homes because virus. Mm-hmm. You're also going to starve to death, but you must stay in your homes.
I heard from somebody on Twitter who lives there, and I didn't look into it. I didn't look for articles, but it was just someone who said that they lived there, that you weren't even supposed to go outside to walk your dog.
That's screwed up. Oh, I think I saw that too. Mm-hmm. That was from South Africa? Mm-hmm. That's messed up. Pictures of Johannesburg also show long queues of people formed at food distribution points.
Social distancing in action.
Yeah.
It says, I'll go back up.
Oh.
It said, earlier we reported how nurses in South Africa were shot with rubber bullets after they protested about working conditions amid the pandemic.
Yeah, well, we haven't gotten there yet in the U.S.,
No.
even though we are assembling and protesting this tyranny. That's what it is. It's government tyranny. You have to stay in your home. You have to. Mm-hmm. That's messed up. The government shouldn't be able to tell me to stay anywhere.
Well, and to be fair, and I think we have the link somewhere down there, there are sheriffs refusing to enforce these rules.
Yeah, I never got that link from you.
Oh, I thought you looked it up.
Uh-uh.
No, there's apparently a union of sheriffs who call themselves constitutional sheriffs or something like that. And
Sounds about right.
Well, since they're elected, they have a little bit more leeway with what they can do rather than, police chiefs who are appointed. And they have decided that they are not going to enforce anything that they see as unconstitutional. And I guess they've butted heads with a bunch of different liberal groups over the years.
That's great.
Going back years and years.
That sounds awesome. Good for them.
Yeah. But, see how long that lasts.
Yeah, I know. We'll see how many government pencil pusher bigwigs with way too much power are able to shout louder than them.
Well, judges think they have tons of power.
They do. And the problem is that, we were talking about the stock market earlier and how it's confidence-based. Mm-hmm. It's faith-based. Judges have a ton of power because people have faith that they have power. Ugh. They don't actually have a bunch of power. I saw a video about it not too long ago. The Supreme Court has power, but it's limited in a lot of ways. Most of their power comes from people's confidence that they have power. They've been maneuvered into such a position that people assume they have the power to do what they do. Therefore, they can do what they do. You know what I mean? If the people stop believing that they have the power to do certain things, they won't be able to do them because they often do things that are not constitutional, like the marriage thing, the gay marriage thing. Mm-hmm. They were not allowed to do that. It's literally not in their power to make a law like that or a rule like that, but they did, and everybody accepted it. Therefore, law.
Well, the problem is that the people who have the power to come and put you in jail believe them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It's a public confidence thing. It's pretty screwy.
Well, here's one that's going to infect everybody. Tyson Food, one of the largest pork plants, is shutting down apparently. Yep.
Apparently they're scared of the virus.
I think they have some people who work for them who actually have come down with the virus.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't stocked up on meat, maybe do it now.
It's fine. We've got chicken of the sea.
Ugh.
That's halibut for anybody who doesn't know. Actually, a lot of people think it's tuna, chicken of the sea. Isn't that a brand?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, We used to call small halibut a chicken halibut, so there you go.
Yeah, well, you need to be able to go out and get it. That's the thing.
It's true.
But it makes you wonder, like, I think that there's an artificial shortage happening. Because every time I go to the store, things that wouldn't normally be bought up are empty.
Yeah.
And one of the employees at Costco a while ago, who seems like he's got a problem with just like a loose tongue or something, just talk, told me that, you know, the artificial shortage and all that, like, you know, people are buying up all these things that they wouldn't normally. And so maybe it was just he didn't really mean to say that.
Yeah.
He didn't mean it the way I took it. But I think that they're making sure that certain things aren't as prevalent in the store.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the fear itself is manufactured, which is causing people to buy things they wouldn't normally, in quantities they wouldn't normally. But you're right. It's manufactured in that the government has shut down all the restaurants. Mm-hmm. Basically nationwide, there's no restaurants. Guess who buys all the food? Restaurants. You can't buy the same things that the restaurants buy because you don't buy from FSA. Well, I guess U.S. Foods now, but Cisco Food Distribution Networks, you don't buy from them. Restaurants do.
Well, yeah, people... I saw an article a couple weeks back saying that a lot of people, a surprisingly large number of people, eat out all the time. Mm-hmm. And so now those people are going to the store and buying things too.
Yep. But the problem is that restaurants... Well, I just reiterate, restaurants buy through different distribution networks than grocery stores do, and that's why those plants, you heard about the dairy production plants, they're just opening the valve and letting the milk run down the drain. Literally.
Restaurants don't buy tons of milk, though.
That's true. That's a good point. I'm talking about like meat, though.
I know. I don't think that talking...
They say the vegetables are rotting in the sun, and the meat is that we're going to have to cull all our cattle and just kill all the cattle and the pork because we can't sell them fast enough, and on and on and on. Huh. It's because the distribution networks aren't demanding it. They're not buying it because there's no restaurants to buy it. You know what I mean? It's not just grocery stores. It's restaurants.
Maybe. But I think this is all orchestrated, to be honest.
I think a lot of it is too. And the freaky reason is that I can't seem to discern why. There's all the theories, but so far nothing has totally emerged as the winner of the theories yet. Well,
apparently...
But they're all spooky, that's the problem.
Apparently AOC thinks that everyone should just go on strike, refuse to work.
Oh, she's such a dingbat.
Stuff will just appear on your table, you know?
So dumb.
Your landlord won't lose their house that you're renting because you didn't pay the rent. It's fine.
Yeah, you should go on a rent strike. Yeah, because they don't have a mortgage for that building, after all. Mm-hmm. Dumb. Okay, moving on. New York scraps do not resuscitate order during coronavirus pandemic.
Must have gotten too much bad publicity on that.
This is April 22. When did you read that they were going to institute it?
A day or so ago.
I didn't even realize that's what this said until I just read it. I just looked up.
Yeah, me either.
Well, they must have chosen not to do that.
But apparently for a little while, New York said that it was going to have... Can you move some of those ads? Sheesh.
That's not an ad. That's the video they want.
Well, there's an X right there.
Is there?
Yep.
Oh, okay, great.
It says, New York officials have scrapped controversial new guidelines that directed emergency service workers not to attempt to revive anyone without a pulse when they arrive on a scene during a coronavirus pandemic. So, I mean, what was the point? Oh, call 911. He doesn't have a pulse. Do they then get in the ambulance, run over there? Yep, doesn't have a pulse. See you guys. Like,
gotta go, bye. Make sure to wear your mask. Social distancing.
But it makes you wonder... How many people are still going to refuse to do that? How many people are going to die?
Yeah, like, what if the word got through, but then the word of this didn't get through?
Well, that's not even what I mean. It makes you wonder because there was talk weeks and weeks ago of hospitals having conversations behind closed doors like, yeah, you know, we're not gonna resuscitate people, and, you know, I think we're going to not use life support for some people.
Yeah, I remember that. I think we may have even mentioned it.
Yeah, and so it makes you wonder, like, if that was agreed upon quietly in some areas and then it got out And so, oh no, we're not going to do that. But somebody's probably still going to.
Yeah, local hospitals might choose to do that.
You know, some of these healthcare workers who think that they're God's gift to humanity, you know, they can't risk themselves by getting in there too close to a coronavirus patient. Are they just going to decide, nope, sorry, not going to save this one?
I saw, this is a little bit of an aside, but I saw somebody mention earlier today about how some of the smaller, like, regional hospitals are going to have to close.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough money coming in now. Because they don't have enough patients because everybody's staying home.
Yeah, Rush was talking about that today.
That's screwed up. So the little guys get screwed again.
Mm-hmm.
And the big guys get all the government dollars until the country starts back up. And then they get all the patients because there's no little guys. They have to take them in even further away to another hospital.
Yeah.
An even bigger one.
Well, and you heard, right, that those 2 doctors that apparently were, or the 2 nurses that were standing up to the protesters, their arms folded in stern expressions, were actors.
I hadn't seen that.
I didn't look at any links or anything, so no. I might be wrong. But
it wouldn't surprise me.
I did see
headlines
everywhere that said that. But then again, of course, there was some social media nurse who they confirmed that this one was actually a nurse, and they talked to friends, and yada yada yada, and you're such a hero, like, who went and stood up to protesters, and she stood them down after hours and hours working in a COVID ward and watching patients die. Just give me a break.
All hail the civil servant. It's the idolizing of the civil servant is really getting out of hand. All right, moving on. Now that we've debunked ourselves, we were just about to talk about how they weren't going to revive anyone, and now here's this article in front of me saying they are. It's kind of funny. 1 in 5 New Yorkers may have had COVID-19. Antibody tests suggest. This is the one you were telling me about, with some really goofy numbers in here that talk about how they think 20. I'll read it here. In New York City, about 21% tested positive for coronavirus antibodies during their state survey. The rate was about 17% in Long Island, nearly 12% in Westchester and Rockland counties, and less than 4% in the rest of the state. So, as we
and that's, I think, randomized testing.
As we are starting to suspect, darn near everyone has had this thing. Yeah. And they got over it fine, and they didn't tell anyone. They just stayed home with a head cold, had some coughing for a week after that, and then they got antibodies.
Well, and many, many people have said that they got a really nasty bug at some point.
Like, a lot of them say it was in December or November, before this even came across, in big air quotes, across this ocean or whatever, from China.
Vincent from Red Ice was saying that he got a really, really bad bug for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I think probably back in January, I think is what he said. But he said he got tested for one of the flu strains, tested positive for that. But now he's wondering if he actually did, in fact, have COVID instead.
Yeah.
Because he said a lot of people he knew also had something like that.
Yeah, definitely seems like that's a possibility.
I was telling you, something that I find just so aggravating is the people who can't communicate exactly. They don't all agree on what exactly we're locked down for, because people are always saying, oh, nobody thinks that we're actually trying to stop the virus in its path by locking down. No. We're just making sure we don't overwhelm the hospitals. Of course, the hospitals are nowhere near being overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're empty.
But, in fact, I haven't seen any 5 new patients tested positive in Alaska. They've been doing one of those every single day. I haven't seen any for a few days. Maybe I'm wrong, but they were making a big deal out of it every single time.
Yep.
But there are legitimately people who think that everyone is locked down so that the virus will burn itself out and it won't be able to infect anyone else, and it's just going to go away. You just all have to stay in your homes. There are people who actually believe that. And you can't argue with these people.
It's because they don't have logic on their side. They don't utilize it. They don't use logic at all. They just believe what they're told by their neighbor Joe, who's pardon the term, he's scared shitless.
Oh, I hear a baby.
Yeah,
Pause.
let's pause for a moment. Okay, we're back, and we did not grab a baby, which is amazing. We might actually get through a podcast without having a baby completely interrupt us and hang out here making noises into the mic. Where were we? Let's pull up these links again.
Talking about immunity is already widespread.
Oh, right. You know, I've had a in my throat for
you
like
mentioned
a week and a
that.
half, 2 weeks. Maybe I've got it. Maybe I'm almost completely asymptomatic. I just have a really slight little tickle in there. And then I'll get over it and I'll be fine.
Doubtful.
And I'll never get it. Yeah, it is doubtful. Especially since the number of people confirmed in our town and the town I'm going to in a week, so low. Like, I'm a homebody. My chances of interacting with people are nil.
No, guaranteed. Pretty much everyone in town's probably been exposed to it. And probably most people
Just fought it off.
and didn't even notice.
Or they didn't notice.
Because it's absolutely ridiculous because everyone's been traveling for months. Guaranteed somebody brought it to our town weeks before they ever locked things down. And they were all over town. You know, I think one of the employees...
Because they didn't know they had it.
You know, I think one of the employees at a store had it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so...
Which means that whole store is compromised if you believe the thing that said that it lasts on services for like 3 days or whatever. Like, what do you believe anymore?
You know what's dumb about that is that they don't even know. They just keep spewing out numbers.
Yep.
I liked that video of the woman who was making a perfect example of the news right now.
Yeah, she spits out all the contradictions in very short order. It's pretty amusing to see them all put up side by side. One more article. One more. This one's a humdinger.
And actually, I saw this one from Highwire on Twitter. We actually need to watch Highwire because it's Thursday.
Oh yeah, this is interesting because... Okay, let's just start at the beginning. What's the headline say? It says, FBI raids Detroit area spa accused of offering fraudulent COVID-19 treatments. That right there is bias.
Well, what is this fraudulent treatment?
It's a vitamin C intravenous treatment. Oh no!
The same thing used as a cancer treatment.
Yeah.
All sorts of things are treated with intravenous vitamin C successfully.
Also, I read this article. They actually have the guy who founded the clinic, and this is a reputable clinic.
Mm-hmm.
They're in 5 states, and there's many locations.
Look, they're wearing painting masks.
Yeah, I've got one of those downstairs. They interviewed the doctor, I believe, that founded the... What's with all the double photos?
It's a broken website.
Yeah, it's a busted website. Well, I actually had to search around because all the other websites that had this just gave me a giant pop-up and said, subscribe to us. And when you click out of it, it blurs the whole thing and won't let you. Anyway, they talked to the guy and he's like, this isn't going to keep you from getting it, but it will reduce the symptoms. He didn't even he's not selling it as a cure. He's just selling it like vitamin C. Always is.
It says right there, the FBI has not confirmed that the suspected, quote, fraudulent treatments involve vitamin C.
Exactly. And they also didn't arrest anyone.
Right below that it says, federal health officials say that there's no scientific proof that vitamin C or any other... Can you scroll down? Or any... other drugs or remedies could effectively prevent COVID-19.
Right, and the doctor said as much.
Vitamin C is not a drug.
It's not a preventative, but it probably, as far as I've seen in my profession, because I'm a PhD doctor, I've seen that it probably reduces the amount of time you're sick, helps you get it over quicker, it reduces symptoms, the things that vitamin C does. It is
Go back up.
Common,
Go back up.
conventional knowledge.
Up.
I don't know how.
Stop.
Okay, there.
Says, Click on Detroit reported that Mock also did a Facebook Live video while giving a vitamin C IV treatment for free to a Detroit cop. He reportedly said in the footage, "What I'm finding in practice, I treat a lot of COVID patients, is that if we catch people early on, get them on intravenous vitamin C, they turn around really fast. And so it is well known that vitamin C is a great antioxidant.
Okay. Given what we just read, he's giving free intravenous vitamin C to civil servants. So
Well, he doesn't say that.
No, earlier in the article.
Oh,
it says that the clinics were offering free treatments to police officers and paramedics and first responders.
Mm-hmm.
All those people, they could come in and get a free vitamin C injection, which is amazing. I wish there was a clinic here that offered that.
I believe there is a clinic in town that offers intravenous vitamin treatments. Not necessarily that in particular, but...
Anyway, that's an amazing thing to offer for free because it really is good.
Mm-hmm. We have a book on the shelf that's all about how good vitamin C is for healing all sorts of things in the body.
So, let me get to my point. Given what we just read, does that merit a raid from the federal government?
Oh, it does.
What did they do? They made no arrests.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got convicted and hauled off to jail, but they still sent federal officers, federal law enforcers, really, the FBI, they're investigators, right, to this place in full gear and raided the place and did what?
They're just there to scare people.
It seems super fishy, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, just think of it this way. The FDA has always tried to clamp down on vitamins.
That's true.
And homeopathy because
they can't make any money off of them. Yep.
It's these things that they can't make money off of. Most doctors do not know anything about nutrition.
Also, before anybody out there listening attempts to argue with what I just said about money, the CDC literally owns a ton of patents on vaccines, and they make extraordinary money every year off of them. Mm-hmm. The CDC itself, it's not altruistic, it makes money.
Yeah.
It makes no money on vitamins. None. So it's in its best interest to make sure nobody takes them. They all take their vaccines and their cancer treatments.
No, I mean, there are so many things out there. When you look up vitamins and toxicity, all this scary stuff comes up. It's been a long time since I've looked it up, so maybe that's changed. But it seems like the medical industry is aimed at freaking you out about overdosing on vitamins. Don't take this without talking to your doctor. Don't take too much of this, and the other thing. The recommended dose for vitamin C
it's tiny.
Is ridiculously low.
It's basically like eating an orange or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so we stumbled on this new brand of vitamin C, which is really good, and actually it says China-free on it.
China-free.
And as soon as I bought our first bottle, I really liked it. I thought I should get another one. Sold out completely. Yep. And that was right when all the lockdown stuff started. And I think a lot of other people went on Amazon and saw, oh, this looks good, and bought it all up. Yeah. It was weeks before I could buy it again.
Certainly.
And so I've been, whenever I talk to somebody else, especially an older couple from our church, like, are you guys good on vitamins? You guys need any vitamins? But it's not just that. It's the vitamin D3, too.
Yeah.
I've heard that's, doing really good at helping people either prevent or treat.
Well, I've read a lot of people have speculated the reason that the homeless population in LA and San Francisco haven't all died from COVID-19 is because they spend all day in the sun. They got tons of vitamin D, and that's like one of the primary things keeping people from dying. If they do catch it, they barely notice because they have enough vitamin D in their system. Well,
and that's the thing about the seasonal flu, too, I've heard, is that your vitamin D is really low in the winter.
Yeah.
Especially, in the north.
Right, I was going to say, does seasonal flu affect people in Ecuador? Probably not, because they're always in the sun.
Well, that's pure speculation.
Yeah, but that is. I don't know.
But in Alaska, people are severely vitamin D deficient because we get a lot of rain, very little sun. So it's all interesting to speculate on. I mean, the studies probably exist. They're just really hard to find because they don't necessarily always get into the peer-reviewed journals because they need to clamp down on that right away. They don't want people to get the wrong idea. So at the beginning of all this, they were suggesting, make sure you get your flu shot. It's not good for COVID, but make sure you get your flu shot. And all that stuff about vitamins, ignore that. There's nothing behind any of that. And I actually saw a video a few weeks ago recommended to us on YouTube talking about how, is it really a good idea to take vitamin D and C to prevent COVID?
It's messed up.
Yeah.
So that is the end of our notes. But do you want to do a conspiracy one that I just read earlier? And
Sure.
Spring it on you, but I read it just before the podcast, so it's fresh.
Okay, if you can find it quick.
I will. I'll look up a link right now. It was not difficult to find earlier. So remember AOL?
Mm-hmm.
America Online. Remember those stupid discs you used to get in the mail?
No.
No, I can't believe this.
I was born in the 90s.
Yeah,
I was very young in the 90s.
that's a great point. But you do remember dial-up because they were
Yes.
still sending them out when it was dial-up was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
AOL apparently is still around, and they have this software that is available now. They've chosen to call this software Moloch. I don't really know what the software does. Something fancy about data, large-scale data capturing or whatever.
Augment your current security infrastructure to store and index network traffic in a standard PCAP format. Moloch is not meant to replace intrusion detection systems, IDS. Instead, it provides more visibility.
Okay. Thank you, robot wife.
Wow. It's fun to read it that way.
So, guess what their logo is for said software? Take a wild guess.
Horns.
No. Take another guess.
An owl.
Exactly. Precisely. Let's scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, there's owls.
Isn't it so cute?
How out of touch do you...
Oh, I don't think these people are out of touch at all.
You think there's some crazy, like, child sacrificing Satanist guy at a keyboard programming this wild software that is really specific to certain people who most people don't even care. But there's just this random guy, and he pitched it to his boss. Hey, let's
You always come up with this theory that some random guy pitches a thing. No, I think that the people at the top of these companies have connections and are involved in these things. That's what I actually believe.
It just boggles my mind. There's a board of people who approve these things.
Not necessarily.
There's usually a room of like 8 people who have to vote yes.
Not necessarily. The small scale decisions, like maybe, choosing a logo, that could fall to one person. Who knows?
I suppose this is pretty specific small software, but still.
But no, I don't believe that some random person made the decision. I think that probably the person at the top of the company said, hey, this is what I want. Go design this.
I suppose. I don't know. In my mind, it's like a board. It's like a board of directors. And one guy has this idea.
Because you've watched too many movies and
TV
shows.
It's true. It's true. It's just... And he's like, I know. Let's call it Moloch, because that's not like this evil god that people sacrifice their children to or anything. I have the perfect logo. It's an owl. And everyone's like, bravo, we love you. We're all on board with Bohemian Grove. And
it's because you watched too many commercials from Geico.
That's true. True. Anyway.
No, they would never just let some random person design something and then put it out to the whole company without approving it from somebody at the top.
I don't know. If it was Moloch and the guy at the top loved him too.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's true.
Anyway, I don't
know.
The
software itself isn't significant. Just the name of the logo is just astonishing.
Well, Google wants to be evil now.
That's true.
So
they removed their motto. It used to be "Don't be evil," and they scratched it out.
No,
we talked about that the other day too.
Yeah, it seems to me that companies and individuals of renown are all starting to more and more push the limits of what is acceptable socially, as far as like bringing back these weird mysticisms and evil religions. Is now it's not, burn the witch. Now it's, you guys are a bunch of morons. You actually think we're worshiping Satan? No. I'm just making art.
That's right.
Because Marina Abramovic wants us all to leave her alone because she's just making art. Can't we all just leave her alone? Dang it.
There's our next. We have more notes. And they're not written down. Isn't this wild? That's our next article. I won't look it up because we can just ad-lib this one. But it was the New York Times, right? New York Times.
It was
New York Times was put out this article where they quote Marina Abramovic, and she's like, "I'm not a Satanist. I'm really tired of all these people being mean to me online about being a Satanist. I've told them over and over, and they keep harassing me. Wah, wah, wah. Look at these goat horns and all this blood and dead babies."
So one of those I think was cow bones.
Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it's just
death.
Yeah, it's really gross. But I know that they went on to show all these photo shoots she's done over the years and just how disturbing and creepy the imagery is. But she's not a Satanist.
No.
She's just an artist.
Just make sure to come by to my next spirit cooking dinner where we're going to boil some human semen and drink breast milk and cut our fingers off. And ugh. Haven't you seen the recipe for...
Yeah.
It's disgusting. What she does is disgusting.
And apparently...
But, poor her.
And apparently Lady Gaga was so impressed by her that she wanted to be trained by her. And
she left her in the woods blindfolded?
And naked.
And naked. Yeah. That's what she trained her to do.
Well, I can't decide if Lady Gaga is...
A puppet?
Possessed or just completely programmed.
Probably both.
Probably both.
Yeah.
I assume that people who are MK programmed are probably have a demon attached to them.
Yeah.
To be honest. But it seems like Lady Gaga is just the chosen puppet.
Yeah.
You know, she's on everybody's shoulder.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And she pops up in the highest of places. Mm-hmm. Microsoft is releasing a new version of their AR glasses. What's it called? Microsoft.
Aren't you just talking about the ad with Marina Abramovic? Yeah,
but it was an ad showcasing their new technology.
I don't know.
They have the first version and anyway. It's augmented reality. They're glasses you put on, and you can see through them, but then it projects images on your eyes, so it looks like things are happening in real life.
That was the ad that Marina Abramovic did.
Right. Why has Microsoft choose her? Why not some impressionist painter that does really nice flowers and whatnot? You know what I mean? In virtual space. Instead, we're going to get the Satanist.
I think they're getting ready for widespread, worldwide 5G rituals.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're ramping up for. And we talked about that a little bit in our 2 podcasts ago. We talked about Burning Man is going to be beamed right into your home.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they're getting desperate. Because they seem to have ramped it up a little quick. You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to accept Abramovic. She's freaky. You know what I mean? That's why they took their YouTube ad off. They took it off just days later because so many people hated it. They hate her. They don't want anything to do with her. Microsoft just canceled it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Are they that desperate that they're pushing the agenda sooner than they ought if they want to slowly move people into it?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. It could also be a matter of they knew that was going to happen and they expected...
And they have something tamer in their back pocket that they will accept.
Maybe, but think of it this way. While also exposing themselves, they're exposing the people who believe all that. And they're making the people who will never be convinced or might be on the verge of being convinced go, oh, you guys are just a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists. I can't buy that. That's too much. And I saw some of that in the anti-vax community.
Yeah.
Because Suzanne Humphreys has been posting all these Q things. And she posted the video of Abramovic before it got taken down. And there were a lot of people in there saying, yeah, I know about this. I've known about this for years. This is super creepy. And there's some people going, yeah, that's too far from me. Bye. I read a
thread where they were talking about Abramovic at one point, and someone was in there was like, well, whatever she wants to do, it's art because art is subjective and it's up to her. And if people believe that's art, then I guess it's a beautiful thing. They were totally justifying it. Like, you people don't understand.
Truth is not subjective. And art is supposed to be a reflection.
Yeah, of truth.
Yeah.
So that ties up the episode. That freakiness. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Everyone can go to bed with those beautiful images in their mind.
I am not sleepy now, although I did just drink caffeine.
Good for you. I need to feed our lizard. The poor thing is going to die. So that's what I'm going to do soon.
A cricket shortage.
There's a cricket shortage. That's all I got to say. That's the end of the show. Find us on Hinterlands Feed on Twitter, at Hinterlands Feed. Listen on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Course, this has been 7 days, hasn't it? No, it hasn't. I posted that Monday or Sunday, so this episode won't go automatically. I'll make sure it gets on YouTube, though.
I might get taken down because we said vitamin C too many times.
Oh, I don't care. I'll still put it up. It's a badge of honor to get taken down by the overlords, right?
I don't think we're gonna.
No, that we're too small. They don't care. They don't care what I put out there.
Although I've noticed that the auto text thing that YouTube does, some people, you'll watch their videos and it just completely garbles what they're saying. But most of the time that I've used it, it actually successfully translates what we're saying.
That's because we're articulate and we speak in neutral English accents.
You speak in the Canadian accent?
Yeah, Canadian, Yeah, the British Columbia accent.
The Stargate Atlantis accent.
That's right. Stargate Atlantis accent.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Thanks, everyone.
Good night.